Court is on the record in City of Conneaut versus Murphy Mulkern, case number 25 CRB 130. On May 27th, 2025, the defendant pled not guilty to one count of vehicular homicide and manslaughter, a first-degree misdemeanor, in violation of Section 537.02A1A of the Conneaut City Ordinances. We are scheduled today for a first pretrial conference. Mr. Mulkern is present. He's accompanied by his attorney, Jason Fairchild. Also present is Law Director John Lewis. Mr. Lewis, the court is in receipt of a pretrial report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Prior to going on the record, I had a conversation with members of the decedent's family, including his wife, Julie, his two daughters, Courtney and Jamie. They're all present in the courtroom at this time. Based on that conversation and my conversations with Mr. Fairchild, the offer that's been extended to Mr. Mulkern today would be to amend the charge to vehicular manslaughter under Ordinance 537.02A2. That would reduce it to a second-degree misdemeanor. With a guilty plea to that charge, Your Honor, the city would recommend probation, supervised probation, whatever fine the court would deem appropriate, along with the court costs of the case, and also whatever length of driver's license suspension the court would deem appropriate to impose. Based on my conversation with Mr. Fairchild, his client is willing to accept the amended charge, the offer on the amended charge, should the court permit.
Buckle up, guys. Today we're diving into a tense courtroom standoff that unfolds in the very first moment. As the judge calls the room to order, every eye shifts to the defendant, who refuses to sit, already testing the limits of the court's patience. This opening moment sets the tone for escalating pressure no one in the room seems prepared for.
Should the court permit the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I inquire of Mr. Fairchild, I do have to inquire of Ms. Tupa and the two daughters, the family members. Who is the spokesperson? Okay. Ms. Tupa, Mr. Lewis has just outlined the terms of a proposed resolution where the original charge would be amended from a first-degree misdemeanor to a second-degree misdemeanor. Are you and the family in favor of that proposal?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Fairchild.
Your Honor, as was recited by Mr. Lewis, that is what was proposed, and Mr. Mulkern is willing to change his not guilty plea to a plea of guilty to the charge as amended. With respect to the recommendation for sentencing, we would ask the court to adopt the state or the city's position. The only, with respect to probation, Mr. Mulkern does reside in New York. So supervised probation would, I think, create somewhat of an issue for him. If there is a term of probation, if it could be non-reporting, only because he does live in New York. He is in the Army National Guard. I would indicate to the court that we do have, if the court wants to review, I have a letter from his commanding officer that attests to his character, and obviously this is a tragic accident that happened, and we're certainly sorry for the loss, and our condolences are extended to the family. There was no, ill intent here at all. I think that everyone knows that intersection here on Route 7 and 90 can get pretty hectic up there. It's not an excuse, obviously, but it's a reality. So we would ask the court to...
From here, the mood tightens as the prosecution steps forward with a stack of evidence files. The room quiets when the lead attorney announces that new surveillance footage has surfaced. Jurors lean in, sensing the shift, while the defense visibly tenses. This is the moment both sides realize the case may no longer be
The
predictable.
court to not impose any jail and to consider a non-reporting probation. With respect to the driver's license, I did do a little bit of looking at the ordinance. The city's ordinance, the equivalent under the Ohio Revised Code, is 2903.06A4, which is a second-degree misdemeanor. When you look at what is to be imposed under 4510.02 for such a violation, it's a Class 6 suspension from 3 months to 2 years. We would ask the court to consider the minimum 3 months, recognizing that it has to impose some suspension, but also recognizing that this wasn't a situation where you had a young kid out there joyriding, speeding, driving erratically or whatever. And we would also request, because he does have a New York license, that the court consider granting occupational privileges on that suspension, so that if he has to drive into Ohio during that time for work purposes, that he's able to do so.
Okay, Mr. Mulcairn, it's my understanding today that you wish to enter a guilty plea to an amended charge of vehicular manslaughter, a second-degree misdemeanor, and a violation of Section 537.02A2 of the Conneaut City Ordinances. Is that what you wish to do today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is hesitant to allow this amendment to go forward, but based on indications by Ms. Tupa on behalf of the family, the court will accept the amended charge. I do find the defendant's plea of guilty to the amended charge to be knowing, voluntary, and intelligent. The court will accept the guilty plea to the amended charge, and I will therefore find him guilty of vehicular manslaughter, a second-degree misdemeanor. Counsel, are the parties ready to proceed with sentencing today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Fairchild, is there anything you or your client would like to say at this time?
As the clip plays, the tension spikes. The footage shows a shadowy figure matching the defendant's profile, moving near the crime scene minutes before the incident. The courtroom reacts in a wave of murmurs before the judge demands silence. The defense prepares a counter, but the prosecution's confidence suggests they've only started tightening the net.
Time before I impose sentence.
Honor, I'll agree. I was remiss. Mr. Mulcairn has no prior criminal history. Again, he was on his way to work and he was stopping off to refuel and get lunch when this accident happened. He's not from this area, so we've asked the court to take that into consideration and accept the state's recommended sentence with the exception of the supervised probation.
Thank you. Mr. Mulcairn, is there anything you would like to say at this time before I impose sentence?
I'd just like to say I'm truly sorry, and I wish to express my deepest condolences to the family.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just briefly, the accident occurred at the intersection of State Route 7 and Route 90. Mr. Mulcairn was traveling westbound on Interstate 90, got off at the exit ramp to State Route 7. The other vehicle with Mr. and Mrs. Tupa in the vehicle, Julie was driving that vehicle, Your Honor. Her husband was a passenger in the front seat. Mr. Mulcairn pulled out in front of their vehicle. They were unable to avoid striking Mr. Mulcairn's vehicle, and Mr. Tupa died as a result of the accident, Your Honor. As I said, Julie, the driver and wife of Mr. Tupa, and also two of the daughters, Courtney Tupa and Jamie Miller, are present in the courtroom along with some other family members. And I believe that they would like to make a statement at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll allow family members to make a statement.
The defense rises with measured calm, challenging the footage as inconclusive. They argue the timestamp is unreliable and the figure's features are obscured. The judge listens carefully, probing each claim. The back and forth creates a simmering uncertainty, and for a moment it feels like the entire case is balancing on the edge of that single cliff.
Make a statement at this time. Who would like to go first? And if you could state your name before you start speaking.
My name is Courtroom.
Okay, could you say that last name again?
Tupa.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm the daughter of Jim, known to so many as Tupa, the man whose life was taken in this tragic accident. Standing here today, I'm just forced to speak for my dad, who can no longer speak for himself. I'm struggling to find the words for anger and grief, overwhelming emptiness that have consumed me since my dad was taken from me. No words can fully capture the pain of losing someone who was my rock and my hero. My father, Jim, was a devoted sports dad and grandfather, the kind who never missed a single game or event. Whichever child was on the field, he was on the sidelines, cheering louder than anyone, and proud smile that made us all feel unstoppable. Those memories are now bittersweet because I'll never see him in the stands again, clapping or shouting words of encouragement. I am angry. Angry that a careless act took my father away. Angry that I'd have to face a future without his guidance and laughter and support. I'm also upset that no words or actions can bring my dad back. I miss him every day. This grief is constant ache, reopened by every milestone that he'll never witness. I want you to understand that the depth of the actions that caused, even if it was an accident, those choices left a permanent void in my life. I've lost not just my father, but a future we were supposed to share together. Games, celebrations, special moments as I, his daughter, will never have. I hope this weight will not destroy you, but just remind you to live with greater care so no one else has to endure the pain. Thank you for hearing me today.
Thank you.
I'm Jamie Miller. I'm reading on behalf of my brother. That lives in Kentucky. Your Honor.
Next, a surprise witness is called, stunning both sides. The witness steps forward hesitantly, admitting they saw someone flee the alley that night. Their voice shakes as they describe the scene, and the courtroom hangs on every detail. Whether this account strengthens or weakens the case is unclear, but its emotional weight is undeniable.
Your Honor, thank you for allowing this to be read in my absence. My name is Aaron Fiscardo. I am Jim's son. No words can truly express the devastation my family and I have endured since the tragic and untimely death of our father. His life was taken from us because of the careless actions and reckless driving by an individual. My father was more than just a parent to my siblings and I. He was a husband to Julie, a Paul, a grandpa, and a pawpaw to his grandkids. A brother, a son, a baseball coach to so many youths in different areas. His life was bigger than just his immediate family. The communities he lived in were his extended family, and his absence has left a void that nothing can fix. Every day we remember what was taken from us. We no longer have his laughter. At family gatherings, his advice, even when we didn't ask for it. No more random phone calls to talk about nothing and everything all at the same time. No more surprise visits to his house and watching his eyes water up when he'd see me, not knowing I was coming. No more pictures being taken. Now we have birthdays, holidays, and ordinary days, and they are marked by a profound emptiness. The trauma of his loss is a burden we carry daily, mostly in sleepless nights, unwanted anxiety, and the ache of grief that never fully goes away. Your Honor, while no decision you make can bring our father back, I ask that you consider the depth of our loss and the irreplaceable person who was taken away from us. I hope the court will hold the defendant fully accountable, not only to seek justice for my father, but to send a clear message that reckless and careless driving has real-life consequences, and it destroys the lives and shatters families. Thank you for listening to my family's pain and for honoring the memory of a man who was deeply loved and forever missed.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Julie. Read statement.
Under cross-examination, the witness begins to waver. The defense pushes hard, pointing out inconsistencies in their memory. The witness tries to hold firm, but each challenge chips away at their confidence. You can feel the jurors wrestling with uncertainty as the testimony becomes more fragile with every question.
Read statement from my son first. While I wasn't directly involved in this accident, I feel its direct impact every day. My stepfather and I weren't close in the usual sense. We didn't speak daily, weekly, or even monthly. We came into each other's lives during my formative high school years. That brought about the typical parent-child relationship. The child secluding with parents to talk with friends and be an independent schooler. Yeah. He acted as my prominent father figure for over half my life, and I feel his absence daily. Gone is the security of having a strong father figure in my life. Just 17 years, and really 14 before I realized his love for me. After finally experiencing that phenomenon, the awareness that his wisdom could guide me through life's most challenging or seemingly simplistic moments, even if I rarely had to ask, was priceless. We didn't always say everything we felt, but when it had been a while, he squeezed me tighter when we hugged, and we both understood each other. Well, I'll always have those memories, and I know he's still with all of us. His physical presence was undeniable. He lit up every room, provided my mother and me with the happiest days of our lives. He altered my perception of family. Rooms are dimmer.
The judge calls for a short recess, but tension follows everyone out of the room. Attorneys huddle, whispering strategy while the defendant sits motionless. When court reconvenes, the prosecution introduces phone records that place the defendant near the scene, adding another layer of pressure the defense must dismantle quickly.
His own, but the kids in the surrounding communities. My parents were finally slowing down and focusing on each other. It's gut-wrenching to think of the time my mother has now lost with her person. Time is tricky. We never know how much we have left with someone, but the cost of this event was not only a life, but a lively spirit who is ready to spend the rest of his life devoted to his family, my mom especially, and bring joy to everyone he touched. Time might not have been on his side, but he wasn't nearing its expiration. The unfairness of the current reality, the one we're left wishing we had more time, keeps me up at night. Death is a part of life. I'd imagine losing a parent is always very difficult, but suddenly and unnecessarily losing a parent due to someone else's actions is the most challenging thing I've ever experienced. Not a day goes by when I'm not thinking of him, wondering what he'd say about his grandson's baseball tournament successes, or how the Browns and the Raiders drafted, or how many times I should have expressed how much he meant to me. I thought I had more time to do that. Years have lapsed and life lessons to learn. I know he knew, but I think he would have liked to hear me say it. Gone is that opportunity. I hope the driver of the vehicle finds the peace he took away from me and my family and more. I do not wish ill upon him. I'd imagine this has been challenging for him too. However, I do hope he is held accountable to the fullest extent for the act that took so much from us. Thank you for your time. Christian Williams.
Thank you.
I'd also like to say that I hope that this has changed you as well. This will occur. I hope it makes you more cautious when you're driving.
The defense counters by presenting an alibi witness who claims the defendant was across town. Their testimony is confident, but the prosecution attacks it instantly, citing discrepancies between their statement and earlier interviews. The clash leaves the courtroom divided as both narratives struggle for credibility under scrutiny.
I have to relive this moment every day. In all the hospital, I relive that, and I relive the phone call that I got because I wasn't there with him. He died alone because he wanted me to go home and pay the bills. He was the person, the love of my life. It took me so long to find. And we had 17 years. And I'm grateful for 17 years, but I wanted more. Your Honor, I'm asking you, we agreed to lower the charge so we could have the guilty plea, but I want the maximum. I want the supervised probation. I want the license suspension because it's not enough. It's not enough. So if you could do that, I would appreciate that. And thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Mr. Fairchild, any response to any of that?
Your Honor, only that we truly are sorry that this occurred. Mr. Mulper, like I said, was not familiar with the area. That is a dangerous intersection. I think it's known throughout the community. It doesn't excuse it. We're sorry for the tragic loss. We'd ask the court to accept the state's or the city's recommendation as far as sentencing. Again, with the supervised probation, obviously, if that's what the court imposes, that's what the court imposes. It's just because he lives in New York, it would make it somewhat difficult, but depending on how often he would have to report or whatever.
With closing arguments approaching, both sides deliver their final blows. The prosecution frames the evidence as a converging path leading to one conclusion. The defense urges the jury to see the gaps, reminding them that doubt remains. The judge's instructions follow, heavy and deliberate, signaling the weight of what comes next.
Or whatever, so we'd ask the court to accept the city's recommendation.
Well, I'm a man of faith, and as I hear everything today, I have to rely on the divine wisdom that I don't have. These are very difficult cases. For many years, I represented, like Mr. Fairchild, people who were in similar situations. I've prosecuted people who've done similar things. While I understand Mr. Mulkern is not familiar with Conneaut, and I do understand that that's an intersection that needs some better traffic development. Indeed, it needs a traffic light. A life was taken. And a second-degree misdemeanor is all that Mr. Kern has really been convicted of. He is going to receive the maximum 90 days in jail. He will be put into custody today. He will receive a fine of $750 plus court costs. He will receive the maximum 2 years license suspension. I will give him limited driving privileges upon proof of financial responsibility and other supporting documentation. Mr. Mulkern has the right to appeal. He has a right to appeal without cost. He has a right to have counsel appointed on appeal without cost. He has a right to have documents necessary to file an appeal without cost, and he has a right to have a notice of appeal timely filed in his behalf. Is there anything further, Mr. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Fairchild? Thank you. This matter is concluded.
The verdict is delivered in near silence. The jury foreperson rises, voice steady but tense, revealing a decision that instantly reshapes the room. Gasps ripple through the audience as the judge affirms a ruling. It's the culmination of every twist we've witnessed.